Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. In my previous video, you have seen that how you can use the array or loop to stop or to eliminate the repetitive modules which you are calling in your playbook. So by using the keyword name is called item and loop, you can avoid these things. In this particular video, I'm going to explain how you can write your playbook based on the conditions. So Ansible can use the conditional to execute the tasks or plays when certain conditions are met. For example, a condition can be used to determine the available memory on the remote host before Ansible install and configure a service. For example, you are installing the database service, you are configuring the DB, but you want to make sure that DB service will be installed and configured if you have 2 processors and 2 GB of RAM in your system. Conditions allow administrator to differentiate between managed hosts and assign them functional role based on the conditions that they meet. Playbooks, variables, register variables, and so on can be passed through the conditions. The when statement is used to run a task conditionally, so it takes as a value the condition to test. For example, I have this simple playbook where I have defined to run this playbook to all hosts, and this is the small variable I have defined, run my task is true. This is the variable and this is the value. And if I'm using this variable in the when condition, this task will be run when this run my task. So this is the name of the variable. If the variable value is true, then it will run this task, otherwise it will skip this task. So if the condition is met, the task runs. If the condition is not met, the task is skipped. Remember that. So if the value is false, not true, this task will be skipped, not failed. So this task is not going to be run. So this is the one example which you can use to run a task based on the condition. The below example is also the bit more sophisticated and test whether the my service variable has a value. For example, you have seen that I am using the multiple variables to call inside my playbook. So you can also call your variable like this is the particular variable, doesn't matter is defined in your main playbook or in the different one. My underscore service is httpd. If this is the particular variable I want to test in my task when this is the variable is defined or not. Right? So if the variable is defined, then this task will be run, otherwise this task will be skipped. So if it does, the value of my service is used as the name of the package to install. If my underscore service variable is not defined, then the task is skipped without an error. So this is going to be skipped. So here you can choose which task you want to run. So if your condition is going to meet the desired state of your condition, then the task will be run, otherwise the task will be skipped. Another example is called, you can put here like this: before creation a user db underscore admin, Ansible must ensure the managed host is the part of the database group. So suppose you have the inventory file where your group name is called databases, and you want to create this db underscore user only on those server which belongs to this particular group inside your inventory, not on the web servers, only in database servers. So you can use like this: when inventory underscore host name in groups database. So this is the name of the group you should have inside your inventory file. So this particular user will be created only those servers which is the part of this particular group. So these are the conditions you can use in your tasks. One when statement can be used to evaluate multiple values. For example, I'm going to show that your kernel should be this. So Ansible underscore kernel equal to this one, and this is the AND operator here. Inventory underscore hostname in this group. So your system or your remote server should have this kernel, right? And if your kernel is matching, that server should also be the part of this group in your inventory. Then the task will be run, right? So this is the combination. So conditional can be combined. Conditions can be combined with the and or operators, right? So so two conditions should be matched. Here the another condition can be written like Ansible underscore distribution equal to Red Hat or Fedora. So from these two conditions, one condition should be matched. In the AND operator, both conditions should be matched. In this condition, if you are using the OR operator, one condition should be matched. Your distribution could be on Red Hat and Fedora. So if it matched to Red Hat, doesn't match to Fedora, that's okay, because you are using here OR operator. So more complex conditions statement can be clearly like expressed. You can put here like this: Ansible underscore distribution is Red Hat and version is 7. So these two conditions must match, right? Your server distribution OS should be Red Hat and 7 version, not 6, or Fedora and 23. So this or this. So you are combining multiple conditions here. First condition is going to check by this particular task is your system should be Red Hat and version is 7. You have this Red Hat version, but it's a 6. This is not going to meet. You have the Fedora, but version is not 23, right? So this is not going to be. So you can combine like this. So here, for example, the following condition statement is meet if the machine is running either on Red Hat Enterprise Linux 7 or Fedora 23. Remember that. Okay. So this is the multiple condition example. You can put conditions by using these operators. Max memory equal to this, min memory less than this. If you are using the equal to, it means exactly you want to compare. Remember that. If you want to be a less and more, use the lower than and greater than symbol. Lower than equal to this, greater than equal to this, not equal to this, is defined, is not defined, and so on. So these are the examples you can use inside your conditions. So let's have one demo how we do this one. So for example, I'm taking a one example here. Let me set up a one like a DB server where I need to install the multiple files and multiple packages and so on. So let me create a one directory. I'm coming back here, mkdir demo using conditions, cp ansible as well as the inventory file into this location, cd to this location. Okay, now I need to create a file, for example, that will do some task and so on. So let me create a file. It could be vim, suppose configure underscore database.yaml. So this file name could be anything. So this is just holding the tasks. So I'm just using here install packages. I'm calling here yum module name. It could be an item or it could be a variable name. So I'm just using here the variable name is called extra underscore packages, right? This is the variable name. Okay, state will be present. Then I'm using the another task is to start the service, so it's a start and enable service. Service name, it will also come from the variable, so db underscore service. State is called started and enabled is true, right? So these two things I have defined in my this particular file. Okay, this is my task file. Okay, let me create a one file further. This will be my main playbook.yml. This will be my main playbook name using conditions. Then hosts will be intranet underscore web underscore let me mention here db underscore servers. Okay, so I need to create this in my inventory. So here this is db underscore servers, and here I'm just using the one server entry example.com. Okay, or I can create both, no issues. 2 save and quit. So main playbook, so I have mentioned here the host. Few variables I am defining here. So where's first is db underscore, so I'm giving you the overall idea like where you can define and how you can combine all these things. So this is the db package, db service is called MariaDB, and db underscore users. So here I'm creating two users. One is called db underscore admin, so this will be a database user, and an underscore db underscore user. So this is the user, and then another file. So suppose configure, just leave it, I'm not using this one. Now here I'm calling the tasks. So here I need to like create the task, for example install first the MariaDB package and so on. So let me put here install the come on, package, and then I need to call the yum, then name, db package is this. Okay, the state will be present, right? And this task will run if my db underscore packages is defined. So if this package is not defined in the variable section anywhere in this particular project, this task will be skipped. Okay, so now let me create another task here. Create the MariaDB users. So I'm creating the MariaDB user. So this is the user section, and name, I'm calling these name into item because there are two, and I don't know what to use it here, so you can call here Ansible -doc user. So these are the system users, remember that. So name is mandatory and rest of the things are the optional. So yeah, here I have used the name, so name will come from the item, and I can use here loop, and loop will come from this DB user. This. So if I am using like this, I have defined this one as an array. So if I call this one, both value will be called into this loop. And let me put here the condition. So here when it will be run, so it will be run if my inventory underscore host name in groups. So here groups, and you have to define your group name in this, like this. Okay, so if any of the server which is not the part of this one, this group, it will not execute this particular. So let me put here to make it more clear to you all, and let me modify my inventory file. I'm not going to add the server to here. Let me delete my this one, and myself also. So I have the server 1 and server 2, and I have the server 1 only in the DB. So this is the condition I have mentioned inside this task. It means the user will be created only on that server which is the part of this particular group, but the package can be installed on all the servers, right? Okay, so this is the particular playbook we have mentioned. I also need to create like few more tasks. Name, install, for example, the database package deps, dependency packages, and what it will do, it will do yum also, or no, I have mentioned, if you remember that I have created a one task file here which is this, configure this one, and here I have mentioned couple of things to install the packages. Yeah, right, like this. Okay, I need to include this one here, so I'm just using here include. So include underscore task. If you are just using include, I believe it should work. The file name is called configure. Let me, yeah, this one, because it's in the same directory structure hierarchy, so I don't need to pass any relative part to further. So I'm including this one, and then it required some variables. So you can see here cat configure this, it required the variable name is extra packages. So I can define that variable here, where's, and here I can also define those things here, but I want to define here because these variables are related to this particular tasks. So I can put here extra underscore packages, and here The extra package name is called MariaDB dash bench, MariaDB dash libs, MariaDB dash test, and also if you have the other one. And let me go back here, and this I'm telling when to run. If my it's very strange. Let me put here if configure underscore database underscore path is defined, but this is not defined here, right? Remember that. So what I can do here, I can define that one. Let me put here. This is a particular variable is defined here, and the path I can put here /etc my.cnf. This is the particular file or location, right? I would like to write something inside it. So if this particular path is going to be defined here, it will be used. Okay, so this is the, so what I want to do, I can write something inside it, but that's okay if this is the particular path is defined here. Okay, so I have used all these things inside it, right? So this is the, you know, the almost we have covered everything. So let's save this one, and now let's use the command Ansible dash playbook dash dash syntax check, and this is the main playbook. Everything is looks good, and if I execute this playbook here, it should run everything to you. Oops, there are some thing which is saying db underscore user. I need to user add invalid db this. I need to stop this one here and let me check it. What I have mentioned, db underscore users. Yeah, yeah, is okay. Like name, here we have this is the name user, this is the loop. Inside the loop we have the db underscore users. Yeah, this is the particular, and db, yeah, is good. Let me check what is saying. It's saying server1.example.com db1 admin, this one Ansible. Oh, okay. Change item, this one user add invalid username db underscore admin and db underscore username this. Okay, let me open. Let me use this db underscore user, and this maybe it's a kind of issue something. And it's saying the one particular example. So it says warning, the value db admin db user type list is a string field was converted into like this. Okay, if I do like this, so yeah, it's working because I have supplied as an array in the top, so you cannot supply the same array again in this loop. Yeah, so this time you can see this is skipping on creating these users. This is skipping on server 2, but it's creating these users on the server 1. Why is it skipping on server 2? So if you are going to check my main playbook, cd conditions, if you check my main playbook, this here I have mentioned it will create the user if your inventory hostname in the DB servers. So let's check the inventory hostname. DB servers have only server 1. So what is saying here? The server 1 is going to create the users, but on server 2 is going to escape because the server 2 is not the part of this particular group, this one, right? Let me check the server 1 here. You should have these users. Yeah, you can see DB admin and DB user. So this is the the thing. You can see the entire playbook has been executed successfully. So this is the way you can create your conditional thing. Let me give you this. If I'm going to remove this, okay, where these package is going to be installed, so I'm just going to remove this particular variable. So here I have mentioned it should be defined, so this one. So if this is not defined, what will happen to this particular task? Let's see. This time it was running, but this time it should say skipping. You can see install the database package, create the DB users. You can see install packages is skipping on server 1 and is skipping on server 2, and start and enable the service is skipping. Why these two services are going to be skipped? Start in the start service start is the part of configure database. This is DB underscore service. Yeah, there is no point to stop. Okay, let me put here this one is true. Yeah, so this is the way you can control your task execution on the remote servers, right? This is, so one task is only skipped here, so which is this one, creating the user skipped on server 2 but it was present on server 1. So this way you can control your task execution by using the conditions. I hope you like this video. If you have any question, please comment on this video. I will see you in the next section. Thank you.